Well, looks like Firestarter will go down as yet another missed opportunity when it comes to Stephen King adaptations. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So I have to admit, when It 2017 came out, I thought to myself, this adaptation is really good, so does this mean that people have finally figured it out? And I thought we were entering into a Stephen King adaptation renaissance. In reality, it pretty much just went back to being hit or miss, and mostly miss. The Pet Sematary remake was unbearable, but I did enjoy Dr. Sleep quite a bit. So what is it about his stories that make them so hard to adapt?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
I really don't know, to be honest. Perhaps his stories just work better in a literary format. I know most of the adaptations that have worked tend to take some liberties when it comes to the original source material to make them more cinematically appealing. For stories like The Shining, for instance.
White man's burden, Lloyd, my man. White man's burden.
But Firestarter feels like just one of those situations where people are going to the Stephen King well one too many times. And thus we are left with a dull, familiar adaptation that left absolutely no impression on me.
Whoopie fucking do. Hey, I'm impressed.
I'll start with some positives, and there weren't many, so this shouldn't take too long. My biggest positive is that they somehow got John freaking Carpenter to score this movie. And it sounds like John Carpenter. It sounds great. Unfortunately, it's playing over this very mediocre and uninspiring story.
Fuck me, right?
The other positive I can point to is that even though CGI is used in some spots, they did appear to try to use practical effects as much as possible. Most of the fire seemed real, the very realistic looking burn victims seemed real. We do get a glimpse of some body horror here, but even so, none of these moments feel all that impactful. This is promoted as a modern reimagining of the classic Stephen King tale. The story involves a couple who are hiding their daughter from a secret federal agency that wants to harness her gift for creating fire and of course turn it into a weapon of mass destruction. You know, that old chestnut.
I don't care!
And that's pretty much my whole feeling on this movie. It's very been there, done that. They present it as almost a grounded superhero origin story. I'm assuming that was done to try to appeal to general audiences who are obsessed with the superhero genre right now. But take it from me, the last thing we need is a superhero story or anything that resembles one in the theater right now.
Oh, you're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
Apparently, the director's intention was to emphasize the horror aspects, but watching the film, I see absolutely no sign of that. In fact, I don't remember a single moment where I felt any kind of genuine tension. They tried to enhance the film by attempting to build this relationship between the father and the daughter character, and he tries to help her control her powers and teaches her about the consequences of using them indiscriminately. But even so, I felt nothing for their relationship and it all just kind of fell flat.
I don't give a fuck.
And that could be because a lot of the dialogue in this film comes off very clunky or exposition-y. I just found myself kind of laughing at the ridiculousness of it all more than anything while watching it. I was quite literally begging for this movie to be over because I was bored out of my mind. I think I would have rather had a burning sensation when I pee than watch this movie. After the shit hits the fan, what I can only describe as a Native American Terminator decides to come after the little girl and her father. The father, played by Zac Efron, and the daughter go on the run, in what felt like a reused section of the script from Logan. They even find an old man who decides to take them in, and he even has a crisis of conscience when he mistakenly calls the police after he believes a false news report on the TV about the father. There's also this random and unnecessary scene where Red from That 70s Show tells the agency to kill the girl rather than experiment on her.
Such a dumbass.
And the finale features an anticlimactic final siege on the headquarters of the agency. And honestly, it should have been a lot cooler than it actually was. You would think that a story like this could really resonate with people, but I doubt that it will. In fact, I would say early seasons of Stranger Things actually did this story a lot better. Ironically, Stranger Things was heavily influenced by these same Stephen King stories.
My, how the tables have turned.
Hell, I would even say go watch the original Firestarter with Drew Barrymore before you watch this one. As much as I love the theater experience and think that people should support it, I do not believe that this movie is worth the price of admission. I'd say either wait for streaming or don't watch it at all. Either way, it was a completely forgettable experience, and that's why I'm going to give it the Angry Rocky.
That's right, it stinks!
So have you seen Firestarter? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Y'all know.